Hey there, so today I thought it'd be really fun for me to prepare a video and just kind of share with you what I do when I have a buyer coming into town. So I have somebody coming in on Friday. They found me on YouTube, wonderful couple coming from Kentucky, and they really expressed to me a lot of the different things that are important to them, things that are deal breakers. So I want to kind of go through the process with you, whether you're working with me or another agent, things that you should consider and pre-plan before you even come out to look. So by the way, I am Gail DeMarco, and if you've been to my channel, God bless you, you're back. You want more punishment, but if you haven't, welcome, and I hope this brings you some value. If you do like it, please hit that darn subscribe button, maybe a comment or two. I love any kind of great questions or constructive criticism, as my husband says. But feel free to do that. So today we're going to dive right in. How does this whole process start and how does it end with a happy family, whether they buy or they don't? So the first thing I do is when they reach out, I really appreciate some of these really in-depth emails I get of them telling me what they're looking for, what their family's dynamics look like, and more importantly, why they're making the move and what's really important, like I mentioned. So I have them fill out a buyer questionnaire. And some of the things, this way when they come, we don't have to sit there and do a bunch of paperwork, and I'm not wasting not just my time, I'm more concerned about wasting their time, because when they come here, it is super important that we really zero in on what they're looking for and not waste time showing homes that they don't even want to go through the front door when we pull up. I want them to spend time exploring the community. And when I say that, I want them to drive by the school. I want them to maybe go into the school, get some information. I could get them stuff on the website, but it's nothing like going in person, seeing what are the kids like. Go to the restaurants, check out the parks, check out the river. We have the most crazy river. Go drive down to the beach. And of course, you got to go to St. Augustine. You have to experience that. That's why people move here. They want the lifestyle. If you're coming from California or New York, we're used to good food, really good food, right? We're used to great entertainment. So you have to realize we have it, it's just on a smaller scale, right? And some people are good with that. I mean, I have neighbors that will fly down to Vegas. They have direct flights on Breeze. You can go to Vegas and back straight shoot, and they'll go see a show, and they'll just go have a great time for the weekend. So you could go to New York, you could jump in a plane. I go to Jersey once a month, right? I know, it's not that exciting. I have grandkids there. But in any case, I want them to really wrap their arms around what would it be like living here. So when my husband and I were considering moving out here 5 years ago, for almost 2 years, we came down here and visited because he was ready to go after the second visit. And it took me really about a year and a half to really say, okay, this is it. Because I'm one of those overthinkers. That's a problem I have. I've always had. I always like to know the positives and the negatives, and they better be pretty far apart so I can make a good decision. Because I'm not a young chicken. I'm an old chicken, and I don't like moving. I like my stuff in the same place. I don't like moving my National Geographic photos, and I don't want to move next to a crazy neighbor or find out that I'm going to be eaten alive by mosquitoes. So I really want them to come and visit, not just during the greatest season, right? Our best season is September to November, I think. I mean, Christmas, I had 65 people at my house, and it was like 70 degrees. It was insane. But it's good to visit during the different times of the year. Okay, so here are some of the questions that I want to know. Number one, I want to make sure I have their email, all your communications right. It's no fun communicating, going, why aren't they answering when you missed one letter because there's an accent or something, or you're hard of hearing. I want to know, here are some of the questions, the important questions. What areas or subdivisions have you looked at? Because most buyers are already searching the internet. I also want to know what's your maximum price point. And if I show you something $50,000 more, don't be mad at me, because a lot of times I can negotiate the price down, depending on how many days it's been on the market. I always ask them, are you open to new construction? And If you would ask me, I would have said no, but guess what? I bought new construction. And you just don't know what you don't know. I'm sure you've heard that saying, right? So if you are open to new construction, great. If you're not, you should just walk in the models to just kind of get a look, because your main concern is when you buy here, what's my resale value going to be? So if you could buy a brand new home, the same model, if you're buying in a planned community or a super community, and you really understand the market a lot better, right? Because there's also a ton of crazy incentives with this new construction around here. Like they'll pay all your closing costs. I'm talking $30,000, $40,000. So I want to know their ideal square footage. I want to know, do they need an office? Do you work out of your home? Do both of you work out of your home? I'm telling you, I just rented an office, so you'll probably see some of my YouTube videos in a different environment, because I get crazy here in my husband's home. He's a general contractor. I can hear his saw outside. He's making cabinets, or he's coming in making lunch. Listen to his YouTube stations. It makes me crazy. So I would love, if I was going to buy a house and I was working from home, I'd probably like an upstairs office. So I wouldn't hear all the noise, or in the back of the house. Those things are kind of important. How many bedrooms? What, depending on how many kids you have, what are the kids' ages? I need to know, what are your ages? Because number one, I buy really good gifts. And number two, it's like, do you need a master bedroom downstairs, or can it be upstairs? Do you need a bonus room because your kids are getting ready to go into high school and they just need a place to hang out with their friends, so they're not hanging out in bedrooms, right? So I want to know, is this your primary residence, or are you a snowbird? Because that makes a big difference. If you're not going to be here 6 months a year, what does that look like? Am I going to get your mail? My new title is going to be broker/property manager, because I do take a lot of my clients' mails and packages, and when they're not here, I'll run the water, whatever they need. So I always ask, do you want a pool? Well, if you don't want a pool, it's really advantageous, unless you're over 65, to get a yard that is big enough for a pool. Thinking resale, I always think resale. Here in Rivertown, there are 4 amenity centers. Well, actually 3, unless you live in Watersong. So there's amazing pools. I mean, why would you have a pool, right? When you can go there, use their water, their electricity, their pool boy. But that's important to some people. Another big thing is, do you have a boat? Do you have an RV? Do you need storage? Is it important that you park your boat or your RV at your home? Then you're gonna have to live out there, because here in a planned community, you can't do that. I have a boat, and we have it actually parked like 5 minutes away. There's the storage place right here, so it makes it very, very convenient. When we're getting on the river or off the river, we can just put our boat in the driveway, clean it up. The next day, we bring it back to storage. But some people really want their boat, or they want a dock, right? So those are the kind of things. Here's a question I love. Please describe the ideal home for you. Floor plan, decor, yard style, features, anything else that's important to you. Is it important to have a covered lanai? Is it important to have a full cage? Is it important for you to have a place in case your parents come, maybe for 6 months? My mom, she came for longer, but she ended up getting her own place. But I bought a home that I could make a next-gen suite into, right? Because I thought my mom was going to live with us. So those kind of things, we didn't know it was going to be that soon. Honestly, it was not supposed to be that soon. We were supposed to be able to come here, and she was going to join us later. But the day we closed, she fell, broke her knee, and the rest is history. Do you want a place with an HOA or no HOA? CDD or no CDD? I will tell you, when you're looking in communities that have no CDDs, you are going to find at least 25% rentals. You're also going to find a lot of the neighborhoods that one lawn is absolutely gorgeous. Like I have this one client, and she's a master gardener, and her neighbor next door and across the street, they don't garden, they don't even mow their lawns. There's nobody there to slap their hands. It makes her nuts. She wants to sell. So I actually told her, I said, this is not a community I would recommend. I'd rather pay a CDD. I'd rather look down the street, up the street, and see everybody with beautiful lawns. It just seems like you have people that really, really care for their properties. So then I'll say, okay, so obviously you've looked at homes on the market. If there's any that really, really appeal to you, tell me what their addresses are so I can kind of learn your style. And I get that information. Sometimes they'll say, Gail, this is at the top of our budget, but if you let me go in and negotiate, I can make it happen for you. If these people are really motivated to sell, which a lot of people are, nobody just puts their house on the market and go, you know what? I think I'd like to have a bunch of strangers come in my house, maybe like pick it apart, maybe throw me some stupid offers. Maybe I'd leave my house on weekends so they could do a bunch of open houses, but I don't really want to sell. So sellers that say they don't really want to sell, I just don't take as a listing, right? But a lot of agents do. But at the end of the day, if their house is sitting on the market for 60 days, 90 days, they're usually either well off financially, don't care, and I've had that happen quite a bit, or they're not in a rush, they're just not in a rush, and they're going to be open to, having a lower offer. So here's another important question. I will say, do you have any hobbies? And how do you enjoy spending your time? Activities. So here's an answer from one of my clients, and what he said was, we try to stay active outdoors as much as possible. These are my people. Kids love to swim and play. Those are my grandkids. We have a boat, and spending time on the water is really important. Exploring, tubing, fishing. I want to hang out with these people, as a matter of fact. We're water people, which is one of the main appeals that we are looking in Rivertown compared to some of the other communities. We're also excited about the golf cart aspect, of the community. So here in Rivertown, we take our golf cart everywhere. We take it Sunday mornings to go get donuts at the River House. We take it Friday nights for happy hour at the River Club, and that's like the most amazing sunsets. So here's the important thing. A lot of super communities like Nocatee, they have some amenity centers. They have beautiful amenity centers, but you cannot take your golf cart there without having a heat stroke because they're so far spread out. Keep in mind, that's like 15,000 people versus we have 2,700 people here. So really look into what is the full build out of the community. Is it going to be 15,000 people? Could you imagine going to Publix or going, Publix is the local supermarket here. Trust me, there's no way that I can run in and get anything when I'm showing homes in Nocatee because I have to bring a lunch because the lines are long. And, if population and you don't like people if you don't like people, my husband doesn't like people, so Nocatee was out for him, okay? But he wanted a smaller community, so that's how we ended up here. Another big question. Do you need to sell your home before purchasing? And if you do you need me to recommend a realtor? Because if you have a friend who's a realtor and you have a cousin or somebody like that, it's important you hire the best realtor. I have a program that I subscribe to that I can actually look up their volume, look up their production, see, it's kind of like hiring a doctor. Do you want somebody to operate? Just think about it. If you were going to have a heart operation, do you want somebody who just does one a year? No, you want somebody that does like 10 a week, right? You want the best of the best. So I have resources to look them up. And you need to share this stuff before you even meet. I'll say anything else we should know about that hasn't been mentioned, right? So then they'll kind of give you, hey, I have a child that's going to the Mayo Clinic because she's special needs, or I'm going to be looking for a new job, so I don't want it too far, more than 20 minutes from Jacksonville, or I'm getting a divorce and I'm just moving. This is another one. I'm getting a divorce and I'm moving here because my child is here, so I don't want to be real close to my ex-wife, but I want to be close enough. So I get all kinds of different situations and things that are important, like, hey, I want a big backyard because I like to barbecue. I want to have people over, I want to barbecue, or I want to barbecue naked, right? I've had people say that. I want to swim naked, so I want privacy. I don't want to be on a pond, I don't want to be in a preserve, or I do want to be in a pond, or I do want to be in a preserve. Those are things. So as a buyer's agent, I can really look and see, so-and-so said that's a positive, that's a negative, and I try to balance it out and narrow it down to like 5 homes, right? I'm not going to show you 8 homes. I would have showed you 16 homes if I didn't know what you already like. But that's kind of the homework I put behind the scenes. And if you're not working with me and you're working with another realtor, think about those questions and share that information with them. It'll really maximize the time you're here and give you a great feel. So is this the right place for us to move our family? Super important. So thanks so much for listening. I'm Gail DeMarco, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got some value out of it, because I could have been eating my lunch right now, but I really wanted to share this with you. My phone number is below, but it is 904-640-8000. If you have any questions about the area, if you want to come out and check it out, send me a text, give me a call. Don't be afraid. I'm really nice. Talk to you soon. Bye.